Sleepers wake, dreams will fade, although we cling fast. Was it real, what we saw? I believe. Lost in dreams, we sleep on, tossing and turning. Stay with me, by my side, never leave. 夢よどうか覚めないで。君は願うけれど、夢はいつか覚めるもの。それが時の定め。Dream with me by the sea. We watch the waves crash. Hold my hand, think of me, and I'll fly. 君の名前心でつぶやいたこの僕の想いはそこに届かないのに今を遠い愛しい面影がこの夜空に浮かぶ瞳閉じても共に笑えてた穏やかな日々が心に Hello, everyone. Let's get started, shall we? Welcome. Apologies. I don't know if you're able to hear my dog barking in the background, but let's just kind of get everything prepped here. So, today we are going to do a music theory live stream. So I have a PowerPoint that I've made, and we're just going to kind of go through it together. If you have, like, even some staff paper or even just, like, a random, you know, like, notebook that you can, like, write notes on, go ahead and grab that. I'd also suggest getting a pencil if you have one. Whenever we're doing music theory, we always want to use a pencil, just because it's easy to erase if you make a mistake, right? So grab a pencil as well, and we will get started. Okay, so let me actually move everything over here so we can get this all set here. Hey, Trap! Doing alright? How are you holding up? I saw Twitter. So I hope everything turns out okay. Alright, let me get this started here. So I'll probably just, like, make this super quiet. Oh. Okay, I think that's the quietest I can make it. Let me raise my volume a bit. Hopefully that's okay. If the music ends up getting distracting at any point, just let me know and I can turn it off, okay? But let me switch over to here. There we are. Actually, let me lower this even more. Think about there, maybe? Yeah, I think that should be fine. It might get a little distracting if a vocal cover comes up, but we can always stop it. Okay, so is everyone ready to learn some theory? Let's go. Yeah, I bet you're tired. Goodness. Yeah, I hope everything turns out okay. Keep us all updated. Yes, it is Undertale. It's a collaboration that I did with Amy Waters. So. Okay. Let us talk about scales. Okay, so we have our regular scales, right? We have our major scale, our minor scale, which I did go over in a previous video. I talked about major and minor and the 3 different types of minor scales. And now we're going to kind of move into something a bit different. They're still scales, but they are very non-traditional. And I will kind of show you what I mean. So the first scale we're going to go over is the pentatonic scale. So if anyone can kind of wager a guess, if it's a pentatonic scale, how many notes are in that scale? If you just take a look at the word, and if you know any Latin or any like root words or anything, how many notes are in the pentatonic scale? Go ahead and comment in the chat. I will wait. All right, well, we got one answer. Yeah, Cedric says 5. That is correct. So there are 5 notes in the pentatonic scale. Okay. So it consists of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Okay. I actually am gonna pause this. Give me 1 second. I actually need to open up my piano program because that would be helpful. Give me 1 moment. There it is. Awesome. Okay. So there's really no good place to put this, but basically the pentatonic scale in the major pentatonic, because there's actually two different types. There's a major pentatonic and then there's the minor pentatonic. Okay, the major pentatonic. Whoop, see, I always do that. Okay, the major pentatonic, like I said, consists of the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth, okay? So if you were to even just do, like, the black keys, all the black keys on a piano basically outline pentatonic, right? We have the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth. So all of these black keys basically outline a pentatonic scale, which is kind of cool. So the minor pentatonic, though, is a little different. So you start with the first, third, fourth, fifth, and seventh, okay? So if I were to bring this up again, hey, Sanj, what's up? So we have the major pentatonic would start on this note, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. If we were to kind of do it like a major scale, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So 1, 2, 3, we need the 5 and the 6. Okay, whoops, sorry. Just like the major and minor scales, how they have relatives to each other, the pentatonic also has a relative, right? So it's the kind of same thing. If we have the major starting on this note, we have to go down 2 steps, right? 2 notes. So we go down to that note, and that's what the minor would start with. But we'd still have all the black keys. It would just start with this note instead of starting with this note. Okay, so we have, that's a minor pentatonic. Okay. Right, so first, third, fourth, fifth, and then 7th. You just woke up? Well, that's like, it's like 9:30 for you, right? I think. Oh, thank you, Eugene. It's not really my song. It's technically Laura Shigihara's song. Oh, 8:30. Oh, shoot. But it's my cover of her song. I appreciate it, though. So, like I said, so the pentatonic, maybe I just do it like this. I think that kind of works. So, pentatonic, the major one starts on, if we're just using black keys, and the minor starts on this note. Okay? So just think pentatonic scale has like relative major, relative minor, just like regular scales and keys. They have relatives of each other. So just kind of remember that. It's kind of cool. If we were to just do it like on C, right? So maybe we want to get away from the black keys because it's a little too easy to know pentatonic from the black keys. If we were to do it on a C major pentatonic. So we got the 1, 2, 3, the 5, which would be G, and the 6 would be A. Okay, and then if we're doing the minor pentatonic, this basically is going to go down the octave. But the rest of the notes stay the same. Okay, that's all you're doing. You're just moving this note down for the minor. Okay, cool. Yes, so there are a bunch of different types of pentatonic scales, but the ones that we're most familiar with are the ones that have these scale degrees, or like these intervals. So I will kind of go through the other stuff that you have, like just other examples of pentatonic that aren't really part of these two that I show you. So like I've shown, it's all the black keys, right? If you start on the F sharp and you play all the black keys going up, then that's a major pentatonic. If you start on the D sharp, again, relative minor, technically, start on the D sharp and play all the black keys, then it's minor pentatonic. Okay? Yeah, so all we're doing is taking that note and putting it down the octave like I had shown. Why use pentatonic instead of normal one? So it has a certain mood and it portrays a certain feeling for it. I'll kind of go a little bit more in depth with it. So I want you guys to do first, we kind of did go over it already, but I want you to list out the notes in C major pentatonic scale. Okay, so even just write down the note names, the letters. Make pentatonic with modes. Well, pentatonic and modes are different. But, I mean, you technically could. I mean, a pentatonic scale is basically any 5-note scale. Okay, it can be any 5 notes. So technically, yeah, I guess modes you could also make pentatonic out of modes. It's just pentatonic itself, it came from a certain instrument, like in Javanese. I think it's a Javanese gamelan. I think I put it in the presentation, but basically, based on their tuning of the gamelan, that kind of was brought over and called pentatonic. So C, D, E, G, A. Yes, arrangements got it right. Awesome. Okay, how about A minor pentatonic? Anyone can join in the chat. Anyone can try to type out the answer. But yeah, Sandra's, technically you're right. Like, technically pentatonic scale is any 5-note scale. But I kind of wanted to narrow it down to, like, the most common ones. So that's what we're going through. Arrangements, you gotta start with the A, though. You gotta start with that A if we're in A minor, right? Corey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. So these are the notes. Arrangements, technically you have it right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, start with the A. A, C, D, E, G. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, Sanjesh, you got it. Good. All right, how about we do G major now? Let's see if you guys can get G major. So G. We're going to start with G, right? Whatever the name of the scale is, we start with that note, right? So it's going to start on G. What's after that? What do we got? I think I can move this a little bit closer. G, A, B. Oh, close. You have G, A, B. That's right. You gotta skip the 4th though, and you gotta do 5th and 6th. So you gotta fix the 2 last notes in there, Sanj. Yeah, there we go. G, A, B, D, E. Awesome. Okay, how about we do E minor? So again, E minor is the relative minor of G major. So it's going to have the same notes, but we're going to start on E, right? No worries. That's why we're practicing, right? So you guys can get a little bit more used to it. All right, so starting on E. So anyone can type out what they think. Okay, E, starting on E, so E minor, using the same notes that were in G major, technically. Also, if you guys get it wrong, don't feel bad, right? That's how we learn. Making mistakes is how we learn. You should never be afraid of getting an answer wrong, okay? Very good arrangements. Yeah, E, G, A, B, D. E, G, A, B, D. Very nice. We'll do a couple more. Okay, how about F major? Hey, GB, how are you? That's all right. Thanks for stopping by and just hanging out. You'll probably still learn something, even if you don't really know, like, this kind of stuff. I do have some other stuff that might be just, I don't know, something that something new that you learn, so. All right, well, we got F major. Okay, start on F, right? Okay, so remember you got the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So what would that be in F major? Pentatonic. I'm sure the delay is probably a little bit worse on YouTube than it is on Twitch, so I'll just be patient. Held for review. Why is it held for review? YouTube, what are you doing? Good, yeah, Sanjesh. And arrangements, good job. Aw, Eugene. That's okay. What language do you speak? Awesome job, though. Yeah, F, G, A, C, D is correct. Okay, how about we do B minor? Okay, so I have a little hint. Try to find the relative major first and see if that helps, because, again, you just have to take one of those notes and put it down the octave. Oh, really? It's not nearly as bad? Huh. Interesting. So we're definitely going to start with B, right? Because it's in the name of the scale. It has to be the first note. So it's going to be B, and then you guys have to figure out the rest. Wish I had like a, I don't know, something. I would play music, but then it's like hard to hear the piano. So we got B. So I guess the first question to answer is, what is the relative major of B minor? Just in general, even just regular keys or scales, like what's the relative major of B minor? If you figure that out, then it'll probably help you. Unless you're better at doing minor. Because that's definitely possible. I love the question mark. And then, all right. So let's check. We got B, D, F sharp. Oh, sorry. So you're missing... Yeah, there we go. Sandra's got it. B, D, E, F. It's actually going to be an A. So B, D, E, F sharp, then A. Right? Because if we do the major, which is D major, it's going to be the 5th and 6th. Right? So the 5th is A, 6th is the B, but the B goes down. So the highest note is the A. But good job. Good job. You guys were able to kind of figure it out. Yep. Awesome. All right. How about we do E major now? Okay. So, again, not minor, major. Okay. Starting on E. Okay. So you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Again. It's okay, Crit. Hey, welcome. Okay. Try to do E major pentatonic. So you're going to start on E. So E is 1. So we got 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay? So whenever you think you have the answer, go ahead and post it. Oh, I need to get more water. I had a little bit of heartburn this morning. It was really weird because I haven't had heartburn in a while. And I've been like, eating the same thing every single morning, so I don't really know what that's all about. But yeah, we got E major pentatonic. Whenever you guys are ready. Indeed, better late than never. E, F sharp, G sharp, B, C sharp. E, that looks right, yeah. E, F, G, or sorry, E, F sharp, G sharp, B, C sharp. Yep, good. The water? What are you talking about, the water? How could it be the water? So this PowerPoint I made for a student of mine who's kind of looking into doing compositions. So we're going to kind of touch on when to use pentatonic scales if you're composing. Oh, and I think I've got some examples that we can listen to as well, which would be kind of cool. So the pentatonic scale is very common in a lot of Asian music, okay? So if you think back in, basically back to Debussy and like Impressionism, he actually took inspiration from the Javanese gamelan. Again, I had just talked about it earlier, but the Javanese gamelan is something that they used very often in their music. And there's two different scales that the gamelan can consist of, and the one that Debussy heard was the Cientro scale, and that was the 5 notes. And he took inspiration from it for his own compositions. So that's kind of where we started off learning about pentatonic and kind of incorporating it and analyzing it, is basically from the Javanese gamelan that Debussy heard. So let's listen to a couple examples. So this one is from I Am Setsuna. So I don't know if it'll just pull up here. No. Right? It's all the black keys. See, they do add the... So that is a 6th note, but most of this track, Winter Journey's Tale, most of this track is actually in pentatonic. So I'll actually just play it again. Right? So that's kind of cool. Yeah, no, this is filtered water, and I drink this water, like, again, I also drink this like every single day, and I'm definitely need to drink more water every day. So yeah, so that's an example of pentatonic. Okay, so I Am Setsuna, because again, that's very like Asian inspired, and that's just a lot of the music actually I think is in pentatonic, now that I think of it. So Tomoki Miyoshi definitely utilized pentatonic, and I think he did a very good job in using it for the soundtrack. The next one, we have this one. I think this one actually might surprise a couple of you. You're like, wait, that's in pentatonic? It is. Yeah, it is. Sorry. So hold up. So let me just double check here. Technically, it's... So they don't have the F sharp. So they do this. But it's still pentatonic, right? It's not like this exact pentatonic that I had mentioned, but it's... Right? So if we were to just count these notes, then the melody... Right? Same thing. Sorry. So it's not, again, it's not, they're not doing this one, they're doing this note, but it's still pentatonic. And I would consider it E minor pentatonic. Or would I count, would it be... Hold up. I have E. Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay. If we do it like this, then that's correct. So we start on the E. Yeah, okay. My bad. Gotta start on the E. But yeah, that is the exact E minor pentatonic. Kind of cool, right? I don't think I have another one. Oh, there's an extra, though. Yeah, so when I was researching pentatonic scale, because I learned this in, like, college, so I was just researching some examples and things like that, and I came across this thing called a Japanese scale that's a little bit different from pentatonic. It's still technically pentatonic because it's 5 notes, but the actual notes that are in this Japanese scale are a little bit different. So it's actually based, they said it's based on Phrygian mode. By they, I mean Wikipedia. But it uses scale tones 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so if we were to use the E Phrygian as our base, remember E Phrygian is basically a minor scale, but it's got a lowered second. Okay, so it would be E, F, then A, B, C. So I'll pull up the piano so you can actually see it. Let me move this. I wish there was an easier way to do this. We got the E, F, A, B, C. Yeah. I like how everyone's liking the FF7 Cosmo Canyon. But yeah, so that's a Japanese scale. So if you wanted to be accurate, an accurate portrayal of Japanese music, you would probably want to use a Japanese scale, which again would be 1, 2. Okay, so that second has to be lowered though. So no matter what you do, if you do like D Phrygian, you're gonna have to do that half step for that second. Then the rest is just the same as minor. Okay, kind of cool. Yeah, so another way to think of it is an alternative A minor pentatonic scale. So if we were thinking A major, let me bring the piano back up. I wish it would stay up. But if we were to think of A major would be like, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So you'd have A, B, C sharp, right? Then E, F sharp. Now, if we just make this into the parallel minor, that's what we get. We get Japanese scale. Okay, so you can think of it 2 ways. You can think of it as like a Phrygian version of the minor pentatonic, or you can think of it as like the parallel minor of the major pentatonic scale, based on like what you do for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. It's still 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. But you have to, well, technically, oops, sorry. Right, that's actually right. Oh, no, I see. That's kind of confusing. So, this is what basically it's saying. This is the Phrygian part. But you can bring this down. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I might actually have to look into that, because that doesn't make sense to me. I pulled these from 2 different sources, so I might have to actually look into that. I feel like... No, that's right. Yeah, that is right. It's, okay, sorry. I needed a minute to think. No, that should be the same thing. It's just the starting note is a little bit different. In here, you're basically starting on the second, right? Because E to F is a half step, B to C is a half step. But in here, you actually start on this note. So then the half step is here instead of it being in the beginning. Sorry, that might have confused you. I'll look into that and probably like make a comment to clarify that later on. But yeah, so I already played that for you. Okay. Yeah, it is extra, so maybe don't worry about it too much. Any songs in video games that use the Japanese scale? I feel like one that I'm thinking it could be Sakura. I had to sing it. I had to sing it in like elementary school. This is probably it. 3, 4, 5. So let me play. It's like, I'm not sure if it's the right key, but it's like Sakura, Sakura, Momoiro, da 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 da. Sorry. So I think whatever, I don't know the words to it, and the melody might be a little off, but I'm pretty sure that uses the Japanese scale. Persona 5's a woman? I would have to look into that to see if it is. But the one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is, I think it's just called Sakura. And it's like a folk, an old Japanese folk song, I believe. Which again, I sang in like elementary school. I'm kind of surprised I even remember that, but yeah, no problem. All right, so octatonic scale is next. Let's kind of go through these a little bit quickly because I do need to film and edit a video for Saturday. So we'll kind of go through this quickly. So octatonic scale, it can refer to any 8-note musical scale, okay? Just like the pentatonic can technically refer to any 5-note musical scale, this can refer to any 8-note scale, okay? Now, there are, again, really common versions of an octatonic scale. So the most common, it's symmetrical, and it alternates between whole and half steps, okay? So there's technically 2 octatonic scales for each note, if you think about it, right? Depending on if you're going to start from that note to the next note, if that's going to be a whole step or if that's going to be a half step. And then you just alternate from there, right? So there's technically 2 different scales for each note. And it's a lot harder to figure out the notes in these scales on the fly. So if you want to actually use an octatonic scale, I'd suggest actually writing down all the notes so that you just know what notes you can work with, and just go from there. Because it's not like pentatonic where you're like, oh yeah, that sounds like pentatonic. You know, you kind of have to really write down the notes. So here's 2 examples, okay? So they both start on C, they both end on C, but you can tell the actual notes in between are different depending on whether you start in with a half step or a whole step. So I'll do the first one for you. Okay, so we have yeah, that's it. So it's kind of weird. Sorry. It's really unusual for me, so it's kind of hard for me to actually play it. It sounds kind of like, doesn't really sound whole, if you will. I'll do the other one now, the second one. So we have, oh god. Okay, so those are the 2 different scales on C. The most common octatonic scales. Like I said, it can be any 8 notes for the scale, but these are the most common ones, okay? So we'll do some more examples. So now this one is kind of cool. It's a violin duet, but each violin part is written in a different key signature. Okay, but if you take the notes that they're playing, you take all of that, the corresponding set of notes or pitches that they're playing actually completes an octatonic scale. So it sounds, it sounds pretty, but it sounds pretty in its own way. It's not the kind of sense of pretty that I think of when I think of pretty music, but it has some kind of interesting quality to it. So we'll take a listen. And make it a little bit louder. Hi, Tucker. Yeah, we'll stop it there. But that's, you can tell that it, like, there's definitely a lot of half steps, whole step things happening. And it doesn't sound as good to our ears as what we're used to, obviously, but I do think this is pretty, but in its own way. I think you guys hopefully understand after listening to it. You're like, it's very interesting, right? Very different, but it still sounds kind of sweet. So, all right, so we'll do another one. Oh, well, Stravinsky, Rite of Spring. I hope you guys know this one, right? You guys should know Rite of Spring, hopefully. If you don't, I can search it. But, like, I feel like that's definitely one of the big ones that most people know. That's like really quiet, huh? Like, you're right, you're hearing, look at all these accidentals that are in here, you know? So yeah, a lot of these incorporate the octatonic scale. Let's do another one. Oh yeah, this one. This is kind of cool. This is like a more modern song. And the beginning guitars that you hear actually outlines the C octatonic scale that I had showed, but it's the whole step first. So it's... Okay, so you'll actually hear that in this song. It's not exactly in tune, so it's gonna be off by like a semi-pitch, just as a warning when I play along with it. So I apologize if it hurts your ears. Right, so the beginning guitar literally has the octatonic scale right in the beginning. Kind of cool. All right, so the scale is sometimes used in jazz. And I also think it'd work well if you want to score something that's a little unsettling and tense, right? It kind of has that feeling to it, but it also works in the context of Radiohead too, right? Like, that actually worked kind of well if you have the chords supporting it that make it work in a certain way. So it's kind of cool. Okay, next up is the whole tone scale. Okay, I'm like super excited. So does anyone know what a whole tone scale is? I'm just curious. I'll give you guys a minute. Even just making your best guesses. Dun, 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 But what are whole tones, Sanj? What are whole tones? What does it mean when it says whole tone? Does anyone know what a whole tone is? It's whole steps. It's a scale that only uses whole steps, literally. So it has a very distinct sound to it. Okay, so I'll play it and let's see if you guys can kind of pinpoint what it sounds like or like when or where it's used. Yeah, just a whole tone or whole step. Yeah, Crit's got it. Yeah, every single note is separated by a major second. Yep. So we start off. Here, hold on. Piano, Tara, piano. Anyone? When I play it like that? Does it remind anyone of anything? I have no idea how far behind the stream is. Familiar but unsure. Like the FF7 thingy. FF7 thingy. Alright, I'll give you like another 20 seconds. Imagine a harp playing it. Oh, no, it's not the prelude. Good guess, though. Prelude is... So that's a little bit different. Okay, time's up. So that is actually used in dream sequences. So I sometimes call it the dream sequence scale because literally, if you think... Even in my shop closing theme, in that cover... I did one. Hold up. Oh. Right there. That's the whole tone scale. Right? It's like perfect for if you're kind of like gonna go into a dream or something like that. That's why I used it. Yeah. So it's something that I also learned in college in theory class. Dream sequences, the whole tone scale. So used so often in movies and things like that when you're trying to kind of represent a dream or something that's a little, just fantasy, I guess. They kind of use that scale a lot in the dream sequences. So it starts off as a major scale, okay, but you have to sharp 4th, 5th, and 4th, 5th, and 6th notes because there's only 7 notes in the scale. So I'll play it again. So we have, okay, that's the same as a major scale, but then these you have to do all black keys, right? Because that's whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and whole step, okay? Okay, and again, only 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our normal scales, I mean, aside from the pentatonic, obviously, but our normal scales usually have 8 notes, right? They usually have 8 in the scale. But this only has 7. So it's another thing that kind of helps with the with something that sounds unresolved and unbalanced, right? And I think that also kind of is why they use it for dream sequences, because it's not, you know, it's not balanced. It doesn't feel like it's true or it's real, you know. It also helps with having a lack of a tonal center, right? When you hear that, like, it's kind of hard to tell where the root is, right? Of course it's C, but it's a lot harder to tell versus, right? Because we have this leading tone, dun, dun, right? But now we have, so no more leading tone. So it actually kind of makes it a little bit obscured. All right, so, yep, this is basically what I have here. Okay. So you guys can kind of play that on your own time if you'd like. All right, so let's do some examples. So another thing that Debussy liked, actually loved using whole tone scale in his compositions. Not only pentatonic, but he loved whole tone. So let's take a listen. Voilà. I'm sorry it's so quiet. I raised it, but I'm gonna have to lower it again. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm gonna lower it again because I don't want you to I don't want to blast your ears for like the next example. But that's definitely a whole tone scale right here. Vuelas has a lot of these whole tones, whole steps incorporated in it. Okay, what else we got? A minute onwards. Okay, I don't remember what this is. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me go to a minute. Yeah, Dream Theater. So. Right? So they do like an E whole tone scale. So yeah, so it's happening. They use it in more modern songs, you know, but it's definitely from way back in like the Impressionist era. Oh, yeah, here. Right? That's another whole tone scale. Stevie Wonder. So it happens like in a lot of different songs. It's kind of cool. And a lot of different genres too. So yeah, that's the end. Let me go back to here. Okay. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, in the chat, I guess I should say. And I can try to answer them. But that's basically new scales for you guys. If you want to use them for composing or just kind of being able to recognize them when you're listening to music, it's kind of cool, right? So, hey, yeah, it's the end. I have to film my cover and edit my cover after I'm filming it. So after I'm done filming it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be busy for the next like 6 hours. So, do the chords in each scale? What do you mean by that? You mean like based on the scale degrees, the chords that correspond? Oh gosh, like the Roman numerals? I don't know, man. It's like with stuff like that, it's kind of hard to do a Roman numeral analysis because it's so outside of like our general knowledge and general basis for music and like harmonization. So literally, I don't think there's really any rules as to like what chords go for, you know, what notes. Because it literally could be anything, but when will I be streaming again? I'll probably be streaming, I want to say beginning of next week sometime, and it's probably going to be on Twitch. I don't stream on here too often, but I kind of wanted to test the waters with like doing a theory like live session for you all, just to kind of gauge interest and see who shows up and the, you know, the engagement in the chat and things like that. So I will try to stream every so often on YouTube as well, because I think it would be really cool to do that, especially for more theory videos if you guys like to do that. But it's kind of hard because I don't really know when I'm going to be streaming. Like, I wanted to stream at like 12 or 12:30 today, but I ended up streaming like around 1, so it was like a little late, but not awful. But yeah, you should follow my Twitch. If you aren't already, I stream a lot more often on there, and I usually do like playing video games, or I also sometimes stream my music making progress, and like process. So like arranging, I will do like arranging streams. I haven't really done recording streams, but I might bring that back. We'll kind of have to see if it's worth it to do, because it's a lot of work in order for me to record myself, like to stream myself recording music. But yeah, so I would definitely follow my Twitch. I'll probably be streaming sometime early next week on there. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for what I should cover for next week's Theory Thursday, if I get one for next week, or maybe a week, like the next week I might do one. But if you guys have any suggestions of what you want to learn, what you want me to cover, just like you can do chat, or after the stream you can comment on the actual video, like the VOD, and then you can let me know your suggestions and I'll see if I can do that. So let's play some more music. Yeah, I like that. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope that I didn't go through it too quickly, you know. As long as you learn like one thing, as long as it's just even one thing, I did my job and I'm happy. Okay. Logical progression for us to learn following this lesson. Well, in theory class, I think after like whole tone and stuff, we went into 12-tone scale, and that's not one of my favorites to even learn. So that's probably where it would go, because it goes from like the impressionism, and then it starts to go into oh my gosh, serialism. I think it goes into serialism a little bit later on. That's probably what would be next, but I don't know if I want to teach that, because it's like a lot of Schoenberg and a lot of Weber, and I'm not huge fans of them. So aw, Sanj, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so again, you can always play this back later on. It'll be a VOD, so if you guys missed something or you want to just watch it again, go right ahead, it'll be up. And yeah, I will hopefully see you guys on Twitch sometime early next week. Thank you guys so much again for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.